And a good Saturday morning to you, everyone. Traveling Travis Fry riding along with you on the second longest live running radio broadcast in America, the Merry-Go-Round, right behind the Grand Ole Opry in terms of years, and we're mighty proud to have that distinction. If you're in the sound of our voice, we encourage you to visit us here at 142 North Main Street in beautiful downtown Mount Airy here at the Earl Theater, where we'll make you feel right at home with some of the best in popcorn and drinks. Ken's back at the soundboard and is doing a great job as always. So it's going to be a fun day, folks, and we've got a lot of music lined up on the way as well. I do want to tell you, if everything goes well, around 12:30, we are going to have a Nashville recording artist. It was just a spur of the moment, saw him on the street. David Peterson will be joining us here, hopefully, at 12:30. But I tell you what, we've got some really good music coming your way on the first portion of today's show. You're going to love what these guys do, and I want you to make them feel welcome as they perform for you. Here is Billy C. Smith.
Let's have an old-fashioned country Christmas. Kinda takes you back to yesterday. Let's have an old-fashioned country Christmas. Makes you wanna go back home and stay. So bake those Christmas cookies, decorate that tree, that big espresso and tell no one but me. Have an old-fashioned country Christmas. Kind takes you back to yesterday. Let's have an old-fashioned country Christmas. Makes you wanna go back home to stay. Party band. I'll get down the Bible, I'll find that place again that tells us of that special child who's born in Bethlehem. Have an old-fashioned country Christmas. The kind that takes you back to yesterday. Let's have an old-fashioned country Christmas. Makes you wanna go back home and stay. Good morning and welcome to Saturday Morning Merry-Go-Round. My name is Billy C. Smith, and these are all the old-fashioned country Christmas band and some of the choir here as well as this morning. We're doing this thing. We would usually be doing the play about tonight or next Saturday night, one of the two. But as things are, I'll take WPAQ anytime. Here's an old bluegrass country type Christmas song. Anything as you feel like you know the words to, you jump in there and sing along. We'll be happy to let you do it. Here we go. Christmas time's coming, Christmas time's coming, Christmas time's coming, and I'm going home. Snowflakes falling, my old home's calling, tall pines humming, Christmas time's coming. And hear them bells ringing, ringing, joy, joy, hear them singing, and it's knowing I'll be going back to my country home. Christmas time's coming, Christmas time's coming, Christmas time's coming, and I know I'm going home. West Bruner. Christmas time's coming, and you hear the bells ring, ring, joy, joy, bells singing, where's going, I'll be going back to my country home. Christmas time's coming, Christmas time's coming, Christmas time's coming, and I know I'm going home. Candles burning, my whole heart's yearning for the folks at home when Christmas time's coming. And hear the bells ring, ring, joy, joy, hear them singing, where's going, I'll be going back to my country home. Christmas time's coming, Christmas time's coming, Christmas time's coming, and I know I'm going home. You know I'm going home. Hey! Thank you so very much. As I said a little while ago, I believe I saw Mr. Atkinson walk in a little while ago. We're going to bring him up and tell you what we're doing. This is all about. We've done this play. This would have been number 7 at the Eldor Rutan Club for a number of years, 7 years. And it's been a pretty good little fundraiser for Give a Kid at Christmas, as it has turned out. This year, everything's affected everything. So we'll do the best we can. Graham will tell you here in just a little bit what this is all about, a little bit better than I can. Right now, though, we're doing some of the songs that are out of the play. We're leaving some of the play out, a lot of the characters, of course. We intend to do this again next year. There's a little DVD that we'll be showing you Monday night on this thing, I think, as well. So we're going to do a song, though, featuring Miss Retha Davis. She's been a friend of the band's and a part of the family for years and years and years. Well, not that old. Not that old. Yeah, not that many years. But she does a great job on this song, and we think you'll enjoy it, too. It goes, it's called Mary Did You Know?
Mary, did you know that your baby boy would save our sons and daughters? Did you know that your baby boy has come to make you new? And the child that you delivered will soon deliver you. a blind man. Mary, did you know that your baby boy would calm the storm with his hand? Did you know that your baby boy has walked where angels trod? And when you kiss your little baby, you've kissed the face of God. Mary, did you know? Oh, Mary, did you know? The blind will see, the deaf will hear, the dead will live again. The lame will leap, the dumb will speak, the praises of the Lamb. Oh, Mary, did you know that your baby boy is Lord of all creation? Mary, did you know that your baby boy will one day rule the nation? Did you know that your baby boy is heaven's perfect lamb? And the sleeping child you're holding is the great I am.
Oh, a great way to kick off the first portion of today's Merry-Go-Round broadcast. That's Billy C. Smith entertaining the crowd here at the Earl Theater in downtown Mount Airy. Wonderful way to start the program. Love the Christmas music. And we're going to take a time out. The first portion of today's Merry-Go-Round broadcast is being brought to you by Price Power Equipment over in Elkin, North Carolina. Let's hear a word from them now. Sure, go for it. We can press on the road. Yeah, that'll work. All right, thank you so much, Bob King, King of the Airways, and we are having a great time here at the Earl Theater, listening to some great Christmas music by Billy C. Smith and the Old-Fashioned Country Christmas Band. We're going to go back to center stage once again, and here is Billy.
Thank you so much, Travis. I appreciate that. I appreciate WPAQ for their hand in this thing this morning. I started playing the Saturday morning merry-go-round when I was about 14. So you do the math, that's a long time ago. So we did have paved roads and we didn't have to just crank it up to make the radio work. So we might tell you a little story about that later on. Right now I've got a real special guest though with me this morning. He's kind of the reason we're doing what we're doing. I'd like to bring forth center stage former Sheriff Graham Atkinson.
Good morning, and thank you, Billy, for having me here today. Thank you, Frankie, for the play that you all have done for us at Eldor for all those many years, and you're right, it has been an outstanding fundraiser, as well as an event to bring the community together, and it's something that everybody looks forward to. I'm sorry we can't do it this year, but maybe by next year we can get back at it. I was trying to think coming up the road how many thousands of dollars that your play and that this group has raised over the years. It's got to be somewhere in the neighborhood of $20,000 to $25,000 at least. So thank you for that. The program couldn't happen without you, and we've come to depend on that. The program that we're talking about is Give a Kid a Christmas. And almost 3 decades ago, right after we started our DARE program in Surrey County, we saw needs in the schools and tried to formulate a way to meet those needs. And through a partnership with the Surrey County Sheriff's Office, the Surrey County schools, the business community, and later on the entire community at large. We've come to serve somewhere in the neighborhood of 700 kids on average a year. Our first figure that we had this year was 820. That number's gone down a little through some private individuals that came in to try to relieve some of that pressure for us. But the money gets raised through a variety of ways, just like this play and pancake breakfast that Ararat Volunteer Fire Department does, and Rueton Clubs and Masonic Lodges and churches and all sorts of businesses and private individuals. It's truly a community event. And Walmart in Mount Airy has been great since we started with this. So on the 10th of December, we'll be shopping for about 700 kids. Because of the pandemic, Walmart has allowed us to come into their store after it's closed to the public. So they'll close at 11 o'clock on the night of December the 10th. At 11:30, our group will go in and shop, and that's all volunteers. So if anybody's interested in doing that, if you'll go to Sheriff Atkinson's Give a Kid a Christmas Facebook page, and it's important that you type all of that in because there's several Facebook pages that say Give a Kid a Christmas. We want to make sure you get to the right one. So it's Sheriff Atkinson's Give a Kid a Christmas Facebook page. That's the name of the foundation that was started several years ago to make this project happen. But the big event that we're having as a fundraiser this year is something totally different that we've never tried before, and we really need everybody's help to make this a success. Knowing that we couldn't have our events like the plays and the breakfast and the other things, we came up with the idea of doing a telethon live on Facebook. So on November the 30th, beginning at 7 p.m., it'll last till 10 p.m., we've got a huge variety of local talent that we're going to be streaming live on Facebook. Surrey Communications has donated a phone bank. Surrey County Commissioners and County Manager have arranged for us to use the building where the Board of Elections is in Dobson. Former faces of WXI, Cameron Kent and Austin Cavanis, will be our MCs that night. We had originally planned for live and video entertainment in a combination, but because of the pandemic, we scrapped the live performances and went with everything from video. But a lot of local artists, including Billy and Frankie and this group and others, will be there. Erica Lotza, who's from here in Mount Airy, that's now a Nashville recording artist. Will Southern, Jack Marion, Peyton Marion, Eric and Ben Marshall are going to be there. Donna and Ben Journey have recorded their entire Christmas CD for us. Mickey Heath has with his karate dojo, has a demo team. We've got some cooking segments from different places. We've got other Surrey County students that'll be playing instruments. Some will be doing readings. We'll do the Night Before Christmas and the Christmas Story from Luke. I know we've got a great show. I'm satisfied with that. Our challenge now is to get the word out, get people to watch, and once they watch, get them to either make the call or donate online. So the way that you can help us is by going to my Facebook page, my personal page, or the Sheriff's Office, Sheriff Atkinson's Give a Kid a Christmas page, the Surrey County Sheriff's Office, the schools, all have it on their pages. Share that. I encourage everybody to think about watching that night, and not only watching, but hosting a watch party, inviting your friends to join. Lainey Pope is going to be there to help us, maybe not live, but she's going to be there in some capacity working with us. I've just found out in the last couple of days. But we've got a great show. We just need people to watch, and then we need for them to stop and think about how blessed they have been and help us help these nearly 700 kids that we have to buy food, clothes, and toys for coming up in just a few days. Was that long enough? You want me to talk a little longer?
Thank you, Brother Graham. Thank you for what you're doing, the time it takes. These things people don't realize. It takes all year. time we get done with this one in a couple of weeks, you turn around and start again, but that's what you do. And I love anything that has to do with Surrey County. This whole play, my intent was to keep it as biblical as possible, and I think we did that. The thing about the Christmas story is a mysterious story. It truly is. I mean, and honestly, we just don't know a lot about it. In both accounts, in Matthew's and Luke's, I counted one time, and there was like around 100 verses That's all we got. That's all God gave us. Now, He gave us an Old Testament predicting it right up to the time it happened. I'm going to do a little Bible study on that on Billy's Music Ministry starting next Wednesday. But we just don't know much about it. Some of the mysterious characters of the Bible, one of the most mysterious to me was the man who would be Jesus' stepfather, Joseph. We don't know much about this fella. He kind of comes across the pages of Scripture, and just about the time we think we got a good little handle on him, he disappears. We don't know what happened to Joseph. We assume that he died, but nevertheless, he was a good stepdaddy, and that's been my inspiration too. Here's a song that I wrote some time ago, and it's called Joseph's Song. It goes like this. I'm just a simple carpenter. What am I supposed to do? Learn my trade at my father's knees, and I've always trusted you. There's gossip spreading around the town about the woman that I love. Things they're saying just can't be true about the things they say she's done. Today I learned the baby's on the way. I know it can't be mine. What Mary said seems so strange to me, but I know she wouldn't lie. I'm just a simple man. Why would God choose me? Play such a vital part in changing history. I prayed for the Messiah, and I knew one day he'd come. How was I know he'd also be my son? I could follow the laws of Moses, just put her away. In this little town of Nazareth, what would people say? Did the angels really speak to me? Was it just some crazy dream? How can God use a carpenter to be the father of a king? I remember what the prophet said of how he'll live and how he'll die, how he'll be of the line of David, just like his mother is and I. How he'll come to save all people from a life of guilt and sin. How my people will reject him, it's just so hard to understand. I am just a simple man. How would God use me? Play such a vital role in changing history. I knew for the recital, and I knew someday he'd come. How the Savior of the world will also be my son. Thank you. This This next song is a song I wrote also. In the biblical story, you know, Mary and Joseph go to Bethlehem, and you know, the innkeeper is always portrayed as kind of a villain. He wasn't a villain, he was a businessman. After Mary and Joseph, he got told there was no room there for them. You know, Mary and Joseph both had a whole lot of cousins. I guess there's all that for the same reason, but nevertheless, he felt sorry for him. He could see she's expecting and let him use his old stable out behind his inn. So that's sort of what this little song is all about. It's called Something's Going On Down in the Barn. This is one that you'll be whistling all day long. It'll be my fault. So it's got one of them little tunes you just can't get out of your head. Ronnie Black and I wrote it about 5 or 6 or 7 years ago, and it kind of fits this little play. And it goes like this: 2, 4. Star above shines so bright, gives the town of Bethlehem light. The stable where the animals lie, I hear the sound of a baby cry. Something's going on, something's going on, something's going on down in the barn. Something's going on, something's going on, something's going on down in the barn. Shepherds came in from the fields, they heard the angels singing goodwill, praising God as they passed by. I heard the sound of a baby cry. Something's going on, something's going on, something's going on down in the barn. Something's going on, something's going on, something's going on down in the barn. Wise men traveled from afar, guided by that beautiful star. With the royal gifts they went inside, heard the sound of my Savior cry. Something's going on, something's going on, something's going on down in the barn. Something's going on, something's going on, something's going on down in the barn. The prophet spoke of one to come. Could this little babe really be the one? Why would shepherds come and angels sing, unless this little child really was a king? And there's no palace here in Bethlehem, just a little barn in behind my inn. Dear Lord. Could this star with its holy light bring hope and love and peace tonight? It's written by the holy scribes, I hear the sound of my Savior cry. Something's going on, something's going on, something's going on down in the barn. Something's going on, something's going on, something's going on down in the barn. Something's going on, come on, something's going on, something's going on down in the barn. Something's going on, something's going on, something's going on down in the barn. Thank you. Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate Travis doing a great job on the MC work there. I listen to you and Jenny some every Saturday morning. Give Travis a great big round of applause. He ought to be able to do this. We're going to do an old song that we worked into the program too, and I'm just like everybody else here. Travis, I'm just like you are. I learned this listening to George Shuffler playing it with Ralph and Carter Stanley. And George ended up being kind of a friend of ours in his latter years. And he always said, boy, I wished I'd tuned my guitar before I recorded that guitar break. I guess if we were still doing it 70 years later, he probably would have tuned it. But nevertheless, I can't quite do it like George can, but nobody else can either. This is an old song, if you want to join along, one called Beautiful Star of Bethlehem. Beautiful star of Bethlehem, shining afar through shadows dim, giving the light for those who long have gone, guiding the wise men on their way unto the place where Jesus lay. A beautiful star of Bethlehem, shine on. Beautiful star, the hope of life, guiding the pilgrims to the night, over the mountains till the break of dawn, into the land of perfect day, it will give out a lovely ray. Beautiful star of Bethlehem, shine on. Beautiful star of Bethlehem, shine upon us until the glory dawn. Give us the lamp to light the way unto the land of perfect day. Beautiful star of Bethlehem, shine on. Beautiful star of Bethlehem, shine upon us the glory dim. Give us the lamp to light the glory dawn. Give us the lamp to light the way down to the land of perfect day. Oh, beautiful star of Bethlehem, shine on. Beautiful star of Bethlehem, light upon us until the glory dawn. Give us the light to light the way unto the land of perfect day. Beautiful star of Bethlehem, shine on. Beautiful star of Bethlehem, shine on.
Oh, another fantastic set right there. That's Billy C. Smith entertaining the crowd. We have a lot more music headed your way here on the world-famous Merry-Go-Round. This first portion of today's show being brought to you by Price Power Equipment over in Elkin, North Carolina. We're now going to hear a word from the city of Mount Airy and the old Trailblazer broadcasts, and maybe even the weather forecast, and we'll be back after this.
Greetings, fellow citizens. This is Mount Airy City Commissioner Lori Wood. We are in a pandemic that has claimed over 250,000 American lives. Now is the time for us to make hard choices to protect our friends and family. I would like to encourage everyone to wear a mask, practice social distancing, wash your hands often, and stay home. With everyone's cooperation, we can get through this difficult and challenging time together. Let's take extra precautions to keep our community as healthy and safe as possible. We will get through this together.
This is the old translation match out at Norris and Brady. Total me and old Dan, the old translation broadcast, and the land of back from the Austin Monday through Friday on this great AM station. We're just an old-fashioned ministry, preaching God's word as it is, being Himself. So listen each Monday through Friday for the old trailblazer broadcast on this radio station. Now this, the old trailblazer, Pastor Albert Bendardis on WPAQ, Monday through Friday, 11:15 a.m. and on Sunday mornings at 6:15.
Temperatures today, George, 66, maybe upper 60s today with sunshine, northwest winds about 8 miles an hour. Tuesday morning, starting out Sunday, 35 degrees with clear skies. A little bit of a north wind, it might keep some falls off. We do have some cloud build up Sunday afternoon, high around 58 on Sunday, and they're still looking at that chance for rain. It did bring one determined precipitation Sunday night, early Monday morning, 100% chance of rain. Here in that stretch, it should finish up around about noon. We will have partly sunny skies in the afternoon on Monday with a temperature around 58. After that morning low of 43. And Monday night, they get back right on time to some December weather. Some scattered sprinkles and maybe some snow flurries in the wee hours of Tuesday. Overnight low of 30 and a high only 42 on Tuesday, the first day of December. Right now, again, we're at about 59 degrees outside our studios. And we take it back to the Euro Theater. More music from the Merry-Go-Round. And once again, here's Travis.
All right, thank you so much, Bob. Well, you said 1 to 2 inches of rain on Sunday, and at least it's not Tuesday, I guess. If it was 1 to 2 inches of rain and coming down as snow, that'd be quite a bit of snow there. But anyway, we do appreciate the weather forecast update and all of our sponsors. We're heading now and back into more music here on the Merry-Go-Round broadcast. Everybody doing okay out there? Everybody doing good? All right. We're going to send it back to him once again. Here is Billy C. Smith.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I told my wife the other night I'd come in, I believe it was Monday night. You want to mark this down on the calendar? The old folks used to say if you walked outside and there was a ring around the moon, how many of you heard that? Paul, I know you have, you older than I am. I'm not going to tell everybody. You don't look like you are, but I'm running harder. They said count the days and within 10 days it would snow. I heard my grandma say that a bunch of times. I told Frankie and she went, you crazy. Well, how many days that going to be, Travis? About 10 days, there you go. You tell Lainey that when we get to see her Monday night, I'm going to tell her to watch that moon. That's a big deal when it comes to snow in Surrey County. I want to take just a few seconds here to introduce all these boys and girls who are helping me this morning. One old guy with a guitar picker in front of you ain't much to watch, especially when he don't play no better than me. So I'd like to take and introduce this. This is the Old-Fashioned Country Christmas Orchestra band. A little bit of a misnomer. I've played music with all these guys a lot longer than we hope to remember, I guess, a long, long time. And I'll introduce each one of you, and when I get done, you can give them all a big round of applause. Sitting down over here on the Gibson guitar, he's usually the king of the Telecaster, but he's doing a good job on this Gibson acoustic this morning. Oh boy, I saved him from a life of rock and roll years ago. Let him listen to an Albert Lee record, he ain't never been the same since. So, good friend, I cherish not only him and his family's friendship, but one of my greatest gifts. Would you make a welcome on guitar, Mr. Marty Beck? That's okay, you can clap for him. Back here behind me, I guess, is the youngest member of our group. Been playing banjo with us and guitar and singing. He's quite a good singer. We'll show them off in just a minute. On the 5-string banjo, Mr. Wes Bruner. And the market guitar. Behind me on the bass, he's been my rhythm section. I tell everybody I'm the best bass player I know of, except for Scott Gentry. Everybody says that because he's the best he is around. He has been my friend a long time. I consider him like a brother. Would you make him welcome on the bass guitar, Scott Gentry? Over on my far right, she's the orchestrator. She worked on this last night till about 11 o'clock. I'm not joking. making sure I got the words in front of me. I can't remember nothing. I only know the directions to the bathroom at home hardly anymore. She's also the producer of this play when we get to do it on, and she does a fine job taking my crazy ideas and making sense out of them. My partner in crime, my partner in life. Best keyboard player I've ever been married to, too. Would you give her a round of applause, Miss Smith? This young lady here on my right-hand side also is a dear family friend, dear band friend. We played music also. She's a member of the old Benfield family. She's still out here picking and singing. She does a lot of things with us through Dixie Dawn and a lot of other things too. But would you make her welcome for her first time on the Merry-Go-Round, Miss Retha Davis. She'll be singing for you again right now. Right now we're going to do one featuring Wes Bruner on lead vocals. And if you know the words to this, you sing along, okay?
Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round young virgin mother and child, holy infant so tender and mild. Sleep in heavenly peace. Sleep in heavenly peace. Silent night, holy night. Shepherds quake at the sight. Glory stream from heaven afar. Heavenly hosts sing hallelujah. Christ the Savior is born. Christ the Savior is born. Silent night, holy night, Son of God, love's pure light, radiant beams from thy holy face, with the dawn of redeeming grace.
little Lord Jesus, no crying he makes. I love thee, Lord Jesus. Look down from the sky and stay by my side until morning is nigh. Forever and love me, I pray. Bless all the dear children in thy tender care, and fit us for heaven to live with thee there.
Thank you, Mr. Also, we got one special guest here in the audience tonight. If you come to the play, I'm not giving all the play away. So when we do it again next year, that means you got to come see it. Just see for yourself. Wherever we're going to do this thing, it is a good play. We do a little takeoff at the very beginning of the play to the Grand Ole Opry, the longest running live music show on the radio, WPAQ, and the Saturday morning Merry-Go-Round is the second. I played on WWVA. I think they're kind of going back and forth now, what they're doing now. But anyway, it's always been an honor to be here at WPAQ. I remember doing it over at the radio station, and I'm glad to see people. I like to play in front of people, don't get me wrong. But I was kind of looking forward to going over there, just to do it the way we used to do it there again too. But this man that's with us tonight, he's kind of my radio announcer. He kind of takes the place of Hal Durham when we're doing our introduction. If you remember, I've got Grandpa Grayson there dialing in the radio, trying to find the radio station, and he finally comes up with the Grand Ole Uproar. So, and our announcers happens to be here tonight also, Mr. Rick Frizzell. Give him a round of applause. It's very similar to the Grand Ole Opry. Never played in front on the Grand Ole Opry. I've been behind the stage, I don't know, a bunch of times, kind of causing havoc and whatnot. Very similar. It's just a live radio show. People miss licks, they play out of tune. Some of them don't sing near as good as what goes on right here, I'll tell you that right now. This is an old song that we put in the play that I felt was really appropriate. When we heard it, it goes back to the late 50s. Anita Bryant recorded it, and we went to try to pull the words for it. It's so tied up in legal battles, I just hope they don't hear it today. I'm sure I ain't got enough money to pay them. But nevertheless, this is a song that kind of fits the occasion too. The Christmas story is a mysterious story, but it's the story of our salvation. God could have chosen a lot of places to come. He could have picked him a palace in the middle of Europe somewhere to be born in the royalty. Or he could have been in one of the pharaohs, or in China somewhere under some of their dictators and their emperors. But he chose no barn in the middle of Bethlehem. This is poor folk country. They raise sheep here. We read a little bit farther back behind there that Ruth and Boaz settled as a home here in Bethlehem. That fits into the Christmas story too. And of all the places in the world, God chose there in a way that I can relate to. My wife accuses me all the time of being born in a barn. Well, she don't know how close that was to being true. And the farther I get away from it, the more I miss it. But he was born so plain old poor folks like me and you to know that we were the first on his mind. So here's a song I think you'll like and listen to the words to it. It's one called Would You Feel Lost in Bethlehem? Would you feel lost in Bethlehem on Christmas morning? Would you be mindful of the star that shone above? Would you be looking for the babe within the manger? Would you be conscious of the King whose name is love? Would you feel lost in Bethlehem? Would you feel lost in Bethlehem? Would that quiet old town seem cold and bare? Would you believe that God has come? And would you find him in your home? Would you feel lost in Bethlehem if you were Would you make haste to search until at last you found him? Would you say when you found the Christ so sweet? Would you be satisfied to praise him and adore him? Or would you bow in homage at his blessed feet? Would you feel lost in Bethlehem? Would you feel lost in Bethlehem? And would that quiet old town feel cold and bare? Would you believe that God had come? And would you find him in your home? Would you feel lost in Bethlehem if you were there? Would you feel lost in Bethlehem if you were there?
Oh, another great set right there from Billy C. Smith and the Old-Fashioned Country Christmas Band. This is the 10,000 watt Voice of the Blue Ridge, AM 740, WPAQ in Mount Airy, North Carolina. We're streaming worldwide on the website at WPAQ740.com, on the FM dial at 106.7, and on YouTube Live. Back in the back, we've got our YouTube streaming live so you can watch it from the comfort of your home. Well, we're going to go high atop Kudzu Hill, hear another word from Bob King, and the Surrey Spotlight will be back after this.
Hey folks, just a reminder to join us every Tuesday afternoon at 2 p.m. Eastern Time for the Surrey Spotlight, right here on WPAQ 106.7. The Surrey Spotlight, Tuesdays at 2 on WPAQ.
We'll have a little bit of local news at the top of the hour. It's forecast. And take you back to the merry-go-round. And a couple things in the community news as well. Right now, more music from both the Earl Theater and again, your Travis.
All right, thank you so much, Bob. We appreciate those good words. Make sure you tune in the Surrey Spotlight each and every single week that you can. as we highlight local and area artists here in and around Surry County. Make sure you tune that in. It's a really fascinating show. Just really don't realize how much talent we have here and around Surry County. Well, we're now going back to center stage, once again gathering around the microphone. Here is Billy C. Smith.
Thank you, Travis. I appreciate that, and that's very true. I'm very grateful. All my life that I've played music to WPAQ, you don't realize what a footprint this little place has when it comes to music. Yeah, give them a round of applause. I knew Ralph quite well. Of course, Deborah and all of them at WBRF, they've given me a platform as well. But they allow us to come over here when we was just young, and honestly, had no business being on the radio, but Ralph would turn us loose, and thank goodness he did. He taught us how to perform, not how to play music. And there's a lot to this. Clyde Johnson stays in my memory. It's very deep and very dear. We'd go over to the radio station. I may tell a story about that a little bit. It's not quite appropriate right where we're at. But it will. You'll appreciate this. I've traveled all over the United States and some of the world, get to play music, and I'm very fortunate. But I'm going to tell you the truth. I never left that far from Mount Airy. When I talked to other pickers, we'd get to talking, and we kind of knew all about it, this little area. This has always been a hotbed for musicians, whatever kind of music you want to play. That's always been true. So thank you to WPAQ, to you, Travis, for doing a fine job with this, and Jenny, who's keeping the Saturday morning merry-go-round going. So, are we ready? Here we go. This whole play was is about lifting our praises to the Lord Jesus Christ. We have no other gospel. I have no other story to tell. To save an old wretch like me took a lot. Took a lot of blood, and it took a lot of sacrifice. And without it, I could never be here. I want to remind you that we will talk about it in just a little bit. We will have a collection place outside where we can collect for Give a Kid a Christmas if you so desire to do that. We'll certainly take that. The nice thing I like about this this charity or this fund is it all stays here in Surry County. We're not spreading out to a lot of communities. All those need help too. We won't go past that. But if you give $1, then $1 stays here. And we need it here. So remember that. Pray about it. If you don't do it today, about what you need to do, how to help this little fund out. Let's go. Sin's dark valley, no hope within could I see. They searched through heaven and found a Savior to save a poor lost soul like me. Oh, what a Savior! Oh, hallelujah! His heart was broken on Calvary. His hands were living waters. I'll soon be crossing. His hands will lead me safely home. I'll join the chorus in that great city and sing up there forever. Oh, what a Savior. Oh, hallelujah. His hand was broken on Calvary. His hands were nail scarred. His side was riven. He gave his life blood for even me. Sing with me. Oh, what a Savior. Oh, hallelujah. His hand was broken on Calvary. His hands were nail scarred. His side was riven. He gave his life blood for even me. He gave his life blood for even me. Oh, what a Savior. What a miraculous time. That's what Christmas is. It's a miraculous time. You know, a few weeks from now, we'll be putting the Christmas trees away, throwing all the paper away, and we'll get about the whole hum of life, I'm sure. We always do, I do. And we'll kind of put it away. The question that Christmas always asks, though, is, what are you going to do with Jesus? Gonna leave him there in a little manger? Everybody likes a baby, but Jesus came for more than that. He came to give you and I an opportunity to spend eternity with God. And it's so easy. All you got to do is open your heart for Him. That's all He asks you to do, is to believe. That's it. No matter what us Baptists and what you Methodists and all of us hang to it, the fact of the matter is, it's as simple as that. It's faith plus nothing. What a miraculous time. Somebody said it like this one time. If our greatest need had been information, God would have sent an educator. If our greatest need had been technology, God would have sent us a scientist. If our greatest need had been money, He would have sent an economist. But our greatest need was forgiveness. God sent a Savior.
Holy night, the stars are brightly shining. It is the night of our dear Savior's birth. Long lay the world in sin and error pining, till He appeared and the soul felt its worth. A thrill of hope, the weary world rejoices. Oh, yonder breaks a new and glorious morn. For taught us to love one another. His law is love, and His gospel is peace. Chains He shall break, for the slave is our brother, and in His name all oppression shall cease. Sweet hymns of joy in grateful chorus raise we, and all within us praise His holy name. Fall on your knees, oh, hear the angel voices, a night divine, oh, night when Christ was born, a night divine, oh, night divine. Fall on your knees, oh, hear the angel voices, a night divine, oh, night when Christ was born, oh, night divine, oh, night divine. Oh, what a Savior.
Oh, another great job right there from Billy C. Smith, and of course this great band backing. And I tell you what, they're doing a wonderful job. That's the Old-Fashioned Country Christmas Band. And this is the 10,000-watt voice of the Blue Ridge, AM 740 WPAQ, time now 12:10. And the next portion of today's show is being brought to you by our good friends Mountain Valley Hospice and Palliative Care. We're going to hear a word from them and the weather forecast. We'll be back after this.
It's all about love. That's what Mommy says. Mommy works with people who are sick and getting ready to go to heaven. She's a nurse at hospice. That means Mommy is an angel, but just without wings. But I'm
Go smile or something.
Oh, I don't know. We'll go later with this thing.
Just fit right in with anybody.
66 today, with fair conditions tonight. Morning low, night low 34, and again, 50,000 tomorrow.
Thank you.
Sunday night.
I'll have 25 before.
100% chance of rain. Sunday night and Monday, things start to break up. Monday morning, clear out, sunny skies on night, on Monday and Tuesday, and one more time. Scattered sprinkles Monday night. Scattered snow flurries, and they vary down Tuesday.
All right, thank you there so much, and we appreciate that, Bob. We appreciate our sponsor, Mountain Valley Hospice and Palliative Care, for bringing us the next portion of today's Merry-Go-Round broadcast. These guys are doing a great job, and we want you to stick around. At 12:30, traditional bluegrass superstar David Peterson will be joining us. You're going to want to enjoy that show. It is some of the best in traditional bluegrass music. Played in Bristol, Tennessee, I believe, last night. I saw him on the street as I was driving down. We didn't have a band for the second portion of the program, and I said, So it was very telling that this would happen. I don't know. Sometimes the best laid plans are for naught, and Billy and these guys are doing a wonderful job. They came in over the circus. So y'all give them a round of applause. We're going to have a great show the rest of the way, and these guys have put on an excellent show for the first portion. I think they've got 2 more. We're going to send it over their way. Once again, here's Billy C. Smith.
Thank you so much. Does this have to get you in the Christmas spirit a little bit? I hope so. I'm looking forward to Christmas. The year we've all had, I need Christmas, don't you? I'm going to take time just to tell just a little bit of a WPAQ story since I got Scott. He told me how much time he does. Don't never tell a Baptist preacher how much time he's got left. He'll be there all day. But anyway, we were playing WPAQ in the studio. That's Craig Southern, Everett Miller, and me, and Tony Atkins. We couldn't have been more than about 14. I don't know who took us over there, Miss Ella Drone or his mother or somebody. Anyway, we did it at the station. And, you know, just like, you know, it started at 11 o'clock and went about 1:30. And we knew, you know, by the time Clyde did the weather and everybody did the farm report, you ended up doing 7, 8 songs. Well, Everett is still a great guitar player, and he was a Chet Atkins type guy. And he had learned T-Berry Shuffle, I believe that was the song. And he was going to play us into the news. We had about a minute to go. So Everett's just going along, doing a real good job. And just all of a sudden, he just wadded one up big time. You know, he just smacked the side of his guitar and said a word on the radio you ain't supposed to say on the radio. And I thought Clyde Johnson was going to die. Oh, boys, y'all can't do, we're going to take you into news time right now. Boys, don't never do that. That may be the reason we never went back over there. I'm not real sure. But anyway, that's one of my memories of the Merry-Go-Round from years ago. We're going to do a song right now, though, that was written by Miss Retha Davis's mother. Her mother and father were Benny and Barbara Benfield. And when I met them, God put them in my life, there's no doubt. I thought everybody that played country music was as sorry and low down, no count as I was. And I found out by being around them that they were not, that their marriage worked, and they loved each other, and loved the Lord, and still played country music. And I didn't know all of them could fit in one place. But they showed me a lot. So I'm going to do a song that I recorded, and it's on my little Christmas CD. I'm going to have some copies of that out there too. This is one that Barbara wrote. Barbara left us about 2 months ago, is that right? But Benny's going to get to hear this after a while, I guarantee you. It's one called Everything's Sweeter at Christmas Time. It goes like this. 2, 3, 4. Christmas time was made for all the people in the world, young and old, rich and poor, every boy and girl, spreading cheer in every heart, especially in mine, laughing, singing everywhere, everything's sweeter at Christmas time. Decorations on the tree, what a pretty sight. And I just heard the weatherman say, chance of snow tonight. Party's going on with friends, the bells are gonna chime. Love is shining bright tonight, everything's clear at Christmas time. It's in the air, it's everywhere, dreams we meet, the joy we share, happiness puts cares behind, everything's sweeter at Christmas time. Grandma's homemade bread. Going home like always to enjoy a Christmas spread. Exchange a gift with those whose children's eyes that shine. Mistletoe for you and me, everything's there at Christmas time. It's in the air, it's everywhere. Friends we meet, joy we share. Happiness, but you cares behind. Everything's sweeter at Christmas time. Everything's sweeter at Christmas time. Everything's sweeter at Christmas time. Got time for one more tune, and I recorded this thing. This is not in the Christmas program. They give us a little bit extra time, and I was glad they did that. But anyway, this is a song I recorded 5 or 6 or 7 years ago, just sitting down in my studio messing with Pro Tools when I should have been up in the house in the bed, I guess. But nevertheless, I recorded this thing and did all the tracks and just shot it over to WPAQ. And next thing I know, the next day they was playing the thing, and I figured it'd lay over in the pile. They said, "That's something Billy sitting over here, throw it away, whatever." But nevertheless, it's kind of caught on with a little life of its own, and it's about the closest thing to hits I've ever had. So this is a song called, if you've heard it, it's called "Christmas in Mount Airy." I want you to count along with me. And when we get to that point, see how many stores, old stores that were still here. None of them are still here, I don't think. But anyway, the stores that you might remember, except for one, from Mount Airy, and it goes like this. 2, 3, 4. Got the milking all done, sold our tobacco so we had a little fun. Daddy said today we can have a little fun. It's Christmas in Mount Airy. We parked in the Roses parking lot. My sister saw it all that she liked a lot. Christmas never does a lot. It's Christmas in Mount Airy. Christmas in Mount Airy, what a magical place to be. Why, even the stoplights are flashing red and green. There's a man in a Santa suit ringing a bell. People dropping money in a little red pail. Mama gave $1, said we all gotta help. It's Christmas in Mount Airy. Davis got shoes for my sister and I. Daddy went to Reese's, got a Christmas tie. I want to go to Midkiff's and see all the parking lines. It's Christmas in Mount Airy. There's a manger scene, Jackson Brothers on the roof. Western always got a bite made for 2. And everybody says, "Merry Christmas to you." It's Christmas in Mount Airy. Christmas in Mount Airy, what a wonderful place to be. We're gonna get a picture with Santa at Penny's today at 3. There's a Christmas tree in every store in town. Mama's been in every single store around. My feet are so sore, I just wanna sit down. It's Christmas in Mount Airy. Me and Daddy ate at the snappy lunch. Mama and my sister like to eat at Wolf Drugs. All I know is that I ate too much. It's Christmas in Mount Airy. It's Christmas in Mount Airy. Oh, the wonderful memories. See, the first time I saw a Gibson guitar was in a jewel box, you see. My mom Mama and my sister went to sleep in the car. I couldn't stop talking about the Gibson guitar. My daddy said, son, you have to work really hard. It's Gibson in Mount Airy. It's Christmas in Mount Airy. Everybody now. Christmas in Mount Airy. Thank y'all.
Oh, a great job right there. That's Billy C. Smith doing a wonderful job. We appreciate him coming over today and playing us some great holiday music, Christmas music. Absolutely wonderful. Once again, this is AM 740 WPAQ in Mount Airy, North Carolina. We are streaming worldwide on the website at WPAQ740.com. Give us about 5 minutes, folks. We are going to be resetting the stage. And we'll be back with more. You don't want to go anywhere. David Peterson, if you remember him, David Peterson in 1946. Well, David Peterson is going to be joining us for traditional bluegrass music. He may have some James Taylor and other things up his sleeves as well, but you'll be glad that you stuck around for that. Stick around. Bob, we're going to send it back to Kudzu Hill for a few commercial breaks, and we'll be back after this. Awesome.
WPAQ radio station, or the Merry-Go-Round.
Is this yours, Ken?
No.
Box?
No.
No. All right. We need to make sure. That's somebody's box.
Hey, how you doing? Doing good. Did you make a friend? Try to go home with these I'll bring you another paper bag. I'm sorry, Mom. Sure did.
Hey, how are you? Yes.
Billy Smith. Billy.
I tried to keep him.
Did you get to see where I was? Yes, I do. I know he gave us some because I came up after him. He said, "Oh, there's something like Billy, we enjoyed it. I didn't realize that was yours.
I don't know where they come from.
Really good.
I don't get that many anymore.
Really good.
Thank you, man.
Welcome.
I play outside a lot. I stay really busy. Still going, and just all our shows. But that's okay. Getting out and doing my thing, so. That's just got my CDs in it.
Oh, no, he's about to faint.
Yeah, when he's about to faint.
They were so good. We wouldn't have done it.
All right, thank you there so much, Bob King. We're still getting ready down here, but that's okay. I'll keep it right here. We haven't even went over how we do the show with David. But, you know, that's live radio for you at its finest. And I'll tell you what, we'll probably do 3 songs, take a commercial break all the way through, if that's okay with you. Like I said, we're kind of learning on the fly, but this gentleman is no stranger to stages in and around the world, and you can catch him just about anywhere. And I saw last night you were in Bristol picking, and it looked like you had a lot of fun at the State Line Bar and Grill. And made his way down here to Mount Airy. And, you know, these are some of the best. I'm always amazed at how things work out for us at PAQ. And sometimes when you have a cancellation, you don't know what to do, and you end up with a star like David. I mean, you know, that's just the way it is. So we're really fortunate to have this gentleman. And like I said, I saw him going into Snappy Lunch this morning. I was driving my car with my wife and my baby. And I said, oh my gosh, that's David Peterson walking down the street. And so I'm a huge fan. I am. I love traditional music, and he does a great job. So we're going to go right to center stage, and we're going to introduce this gentleman. You're going to love what he does. It's Mr. David Peterson.
Thank you. Traveling down a lonesome highway, I knew not where the road would end. Not a penny in my pocket, all alone without a friend. In a little country village, I met a man, and he was blind. And as I helped him cross the highway, oh Lord, I cried, his burdens are greater than mine. I can see the light of day, I need not feel my way. Yes, thy burdens are greater than mine. I met a lad while on my travel, trying hard to play the game. Though his legs were very crippled, and he could not speak his name, yet he smiled in understanding. Though life to him had been unkind, cried in sorrow, oh Lord. Yes, his burdens are greater than mine. I can see the light of day, I need not feel my way. Yes, thy burdens are greater than mine. Just by chance, I passed a graveyard. I saw a young man kneeling there. In his hands there were some roses. On his lips there was a prayer. On the stone these words were written: your soul is God's, your memory mine. And as I watched, I cried in sorrow, oh Lord. Yes, his burdens are greater than mine. I see thy burdens are greater than mine. Thank you. There you have it, one from Hank Williams, or his alter ego, Luke the Drifter, and thy burdens are greater than mine. And mighty proud to be here. Thanks for having me, Travis. And we just want to continue playing some country music for you today. But also, if you happen to have a request, don't feel shy. If you want to hear something in particular today, you can do that. And if I know it, I'll try to do it. But you want to hear that? Okay. Well, let's just do that then. When one of the ladies that runs the radio station asks you to do it, you better do it. And so this is one that I wrote with a friend of mine, Jerry Sally. Many of you know Jerry. He's a great songwriter and artist. And we wrote this one, gosh, it's been about 15 years ago we wrote this song. And it did real well for us on the radio. I put it out on a record and with my bluegrass band. And it's still being played some today, I think, on the radio. So thank you for all the airplay of it. It's called 1946. But anybody here were born in 1946? Several people. Well, this is for you. You can tell me after we get done. Tell me if it lines up and seems to ring true with some of the things that happened back then. Oldsmobile introduced his hydromatic drive. You could fill her up with ethyl chloride at $1.05. Earl took the Opry stage by storm with all of his hot lips. There with Lester and Bill back in 1946. Well, all the folks at Fenway thought it finally was their year. But after 7 hard-fought games, it all became so clear that even Teddy couldn't stop the Cards with all their tricks. Seems the Sox would have to wait till after 1946. Oh, the baby boomers were blooming, and the buck stopped with old Harry Truman. The best years of our lives was more than a Hollywood big flick. Funny thing, it really was back in 1946. Well, my grandpa went to school on that old GI Bill. He was sheriff of the brave souls who survived the battlefield. But sometimes guilt would get to him when he would reminisce about the friends who never lived to see 1946. Oh, the baby boomers were blooming, and the buck stopped with old Harry Truman. The best years of our lives was more than a Hollywood big flick. Funny thing, it really was back in 1946. sometimes I think I would go back if I could find a way. Yeah, when hard work and sacrifice were virtues of the day. When anyone could get ahead, no gimmicks, gags, or tricks. And the neighbors never locked the doors in 1946. Oh, the baby boomers were booming, and the buck stopped with old Harry Truman. The best years of our lives are more than a Hollywood big flick. Funny thing, it really was back in 1946. Thank you. There you have it, one I wrote with Jerry Salley, 1946. That's for all the baby boomers out there. And I came around just over 20 years after that, I guess. That was before my day, but boy, that's mighty good. Just so many good things happened at that time, including the birth of bluegrass music on record anyway. So, on the stage of the Grand Ole Opry, 1945 is when they got that band together, that Bill put that band together with Flatt and Scruggs, and then they recorded in 1946 and 47 for Columbia Records. And so many of us loved the sounds of that, but we wanted to try to do it ourselves, and ended up on the Hillbilly Highway playing the hillbilly music. So, and here we are today in Mount Airy. And all right, well, let's have another request. Okay. Okay. Tim Fry wants to hear this one. I hope I can do it. Can you hand me one of those? Thank you. Oh, thank you so much. All right, I'm going to take a little sip of water. I was a rover on landing on sea, till a good woman's love made a new man of me. Life had no meaning, it was so incomplete, till a good woman's love back on my feet. Instead of roaming, I go home in the evening. She's waiting there, and I know that no matter what happens, she'll always care. And when night falls and the moon shines above, I'm a man with a dream and a good woman's love. She'll always care. Oh, and when the night falls and the moon shines above, I'm a man with a dream and a good woman's love. I'm a man with a dream. And a good woman.
second portion of today's program. I'm sorry to have to make you tune your guitar down, but Dad said if he could do it, I'd love it. And I thought, well, I better do it. But anyway, we do appreciate David, and y'all can tell he is a fantastic singer and picker. We're going to take a quick time out. We'll be back with more here on the Merry-Go-Round after these words.
WPAQ invites you to join us out
Oh, that's a good song. I don't want to try to do it, but I don't want to mess it up. How many times? Wow. I can believe that. Oh yeah, yeah. I'll come up with something.
All right, well, Bob, you having fun? Because we are. I tell you, this is such a blessing and just a wonderful surprise right after Thanksgiving. To have such great music by Billy C. Smith, doing a wonderful job, and this gentleman right here. Now, he does have CDs, and I want everybody to be aware of this. Oh, well, there you go. There you go.
There's 4 different ones?
Just sell the whole thing, Jenny. Sell the whole thing. And I will tell you this, David travels around and he picks music every day. And I think you probably set a record for playing the most hours at one time. You've played a lot of places. And he goes around and plays, and he does this, and we'd like for you to support him. He lives in Bristol. Do you still live in Bristol? There and about?
Yes, I do.
And if you could support him today, that's what he makes and helps him get his gas money. So we definitely want you to help him and support him. He has 4 CDs, and I believe they're all $20 each. So make sure you check it out. Right now, we're going to go back live to Center Stage over WPAQ AM 740, 106.7 FM, and on WPAQ740.com. Streaming live.
I have it, a little Lovesick Blues from Hank Williams, actually Emmett Miller many years before that, but what a great song that is. And all right, we're just going to keep the hits going. And Travis mentioned this earlier. He mentioned James Taylor, so this is a great place to do this song right here, since we're in the right state. So. My mind. Well, ain't it just like a friend of mine? It hit me from behind. You're soon gone to Carolina. In my mind. Yes, I'm gone to Carolina in my mind. Oh, now you say nice things about me. I'm gone, darling, got to carry on without me. I'm gone, oh, I'm gone. There you go. Can't be in North Carolina and not do that one, so just thought that's for you, my friend. I hope you enjoyed that. And all right, now let's change gears again. Let's try this one. just got this guitar. Haven't quite figured the English out on this one. They're all different. Well, I'm going to California, where they sleep out every night. Well, I'm going to California, where they sleep out every night. I'm a leaving you, mama, Lord, well, you know you don't treat me right. Yeah, now let me tell you, mama, something that you don't know. Well, let me tell you, good gal, yeah, something that you don't know. I'm a do-right daddy, Lord, got a home everywhere I go. I got the California blues. Oh, I'm sure gonna leave you here. Well, I got the California blues. Oh, I'm sure gonna leave you here. I may ride the blind, no, I ain't got no railroad fare. One more time. I got the California blues, and I'm sure gonna leave you here. Oh, I got the California blues. Oh, I'm sure gonna leave you here. I may ride the blinds, no, no, 'cause I ain't got no railroad fare.
You're listening to live music over AM 740 WPAQ, FM 106.7, and worldwide at WPAQ740.com. Let's take another time out here on the world-famous Merry-Go-Round. We'll be back with more live music after this.
Have you ever wanted to learn how to play or use an instrument? Maybe it's something on your bucket list, or maybe it's something that you'd love for your children.
I wish I could sing that high.
For all ages and skill levels.
Sometimes I can't do it.
In person or virtually. And Old Mill Music.
Let's see, what else can we do here?
Glad to have y'all with us.
What was it?
Electric guitars, fiddles, banjos, mandolins, dulcimers, ukuleles, and so much more.
Any requests?
These are great Christmas gifts that don't require the
Yeah, we are in Doc Watson country, aren't we? Just outside of it,
Give us a call at 336-786-8742. Check us out online at oldmillmusic.com. And be sure to like us and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Better yet, just come and see us at Old Mill Music, 236 North Main Street, historic downtown Malheur. For myself, Judy Lowry, my husband Rick, and our entire family, we'd like to wish all of you a safe and prosperous New Year. And remember, Jesus is the reason for the season.
Hey, don't forget, Old Mill Music's got record players too. Once again, stop by Old Mill Music, do your Christmas shopping there. You too can play the guitar. If there's somebody like David Pearson playing the guitar, make sure you learn how to play. I've been playing for about 40 years now.
Well, Bob, I guess we know that's why we're DJs and not full-time musicians. We've been playing for a long time, Bob. We're finally getting a little bit better, but I tell you what, some people just have it. And I don't know. I feel like I'm gushing over him, but he does a wonderful job. And I just love the fact that he carries on the music wherever he goes and has a good time doing it. And you can tell when musicians are having a good time and when musicians are just playing to play. And David always has a good time, no matter if it's one person out in the audience or if he's playing by some trees or wherever. He loves and breathes this music, and that's why I love him so much. So we're going to send it right back over to him, David Peterson.
Freight train runs so fast. Freight train runs so fast. Please don't tell what train I'm on. They won't know what route I'm gone. When I'm dead and in my grave, I no more good time, yeah, I crave. Place a stone at my head and feet. I tell them all that I've gone to sleep. When I'm dead and in my grave, no more good times, yeah, I crave. Place a stone at my head and feet. I tell them all that I've gone to sleep. When I'm dead, way down on old Chestnut Street, I can hear old number 9 when she goes rolling by. Freight train runs so fast. Freight train runs so fast. Please don't tell what train I'm on, and they won't know what route I'm gone. Oh, please don't tell what train I'm on, and they won't know what route I'm gone. There you go, a little bit more North Carolina music from Elizabeth Cotton there, Freight Train, and we might as well, we could just stay on the North Carolina theme if we want to, and just, are there any other requests before I move on to the next tune here? All right. Haven't done any gospel yet today, so I think I'm going to do a gospel tune, and this is one that I've been thinking of lately, and it's one from the Stanley Brothers, and I like this one an awful lot. Have you someone in heaven waiting, expecting you on that beautiful shore? Be ready to join that great band of angels when to welcome you in to that heavenly door. Come sinners, take Jesus is pleading. Please never be caught in the pathway of sin, or Jesus may call you home in the morning. When the heavens gates open, will you enter in? Have you someone in heaven awaiting, expecting you on that beautiful shore? Be ready to join in that great band of angels when they welcome you in to that heavenly door. Savior will hear the prayer of a sinner, no matter how dark, no matter how late. He'll welcome you home to a heavenly mansion. Take the straight down the way that beautiful gate. Have you someone in heaven awaiting, expecting you on that beautiful shore? Be ready to join in that great band of angels when they welcome you in to that heavenly door. There you have it. Have you someone in heaven awaiting? What a good song right there. And yes, the Savior will hear the prayer of a sinner. And there you go. All right, before I keep moving on, we'll just take another request. I can keep them going as long as you want, but if you want to hear something, let me know. All right. This old world of ours is full of trouble, and this old world would also better be if we found more Bibles on the table and mothers singing Rock of Ages cleft for me. I can see us sitting round the table when from the family Bible Dad would read. I can hear my mother softly singing, Rock of Ages, Rock of Ages, cleft for me. one from Willie Nelson, the Family Bible.
All right, what a great job right there. I'm going to have to pay a bill here, and we've got a sponsor for this next portion of the merry-go-round. It is Mayberry Music Center, located right across the street from the Earl Theater, locally owned and operated by James Easter of the Easter Brothers. James invites you to stop in and check out their selection of acoustic and electric guitars, bass guitars, mandolins, fiddles, banjos, trumpets, saxophones, clarinets, flutes, and more. And at Mayberry Music Center, they specialize in the Blue Ridge guitars and are the authorized Blue Ridge guitar dealer in the area. And at Mayberry Music Center, they always give a $100 discount off the suggested retail price of Blue Ridge guitars. You'll usually find some slightly used Blue Ridge guitars at Mayberry Music Center at a discounted price. They have strings as well as other types of accessories for your instrument, and they also offer music lessons and instrument repair. James says if you don't see what you're looking for, just ask. The chances are that they can have it in just a couple of days. You'll also find a great selection of bluegrass and bluegrass gospel CDs, including the Easter Brothers and the Primitive Quartet. Mayberry Music Center is open Monday through Friday, 9:30 a.m. until 4 p.m., and on Saturday, 9:30 a.m. until 3 p.m. They're always closed on Sunday. Once again, that is the Mayberry Music Center, Main Street, downtown Mount Airy, bringing you the final 15 minutes of today's merry-go-round broadcast. We're now going to go back live, and I'll tell you what, David is doing. Isn't he doing a great job, folks? Absolutely. We're going to send it right back to him once again, David Peters.
There is coming a day when all the world shall melt away, and Jesus shall come to claim his own. No more tears, no pain, no woe in this wicked world below. Then will you be ready to go home? Will you be ready to go home, to live with him up there around the throne? When he says, come unto me, will your soul be clean and free? Then will you be ready to go home? In this world of greed and hate, will you wait till it's too late to claim the Savior for your own? For he's coming back someday to bear your soul away. Then will you be ready to go home? Will you be ready to go home, to live with him up there around the throne? When he says, come unto me, will your soul be clean and free? Then will you be ready to go home? As you travel day by day and temptations come your way, are you on the road that leads you wrong? If you travel in his line and pray both day and night, then you'll be ready to go home. They have another Hank Williams song for you, another sacred number, and all right, we'll just stay on the Hank Williams. We'll get out of the sacred, I guess the sacred into the profane. Hopefully not, but this song is one of my favorite Hank Williams songs. Let's try it. I went down to the river and watched a fish swim by. When I jumped to the river, I was so blue I wanted to die. Oh, Lord. Then I jumped in the river, but the doggone river was dry. true. She made me for my money and she made me blue. A man needs a woman that he can lean on. Yeah, but my leaning folks are done left and gone. She's low on gone tonight. I'm low on some blues. One that's cold as ice. But when you find me that river, Lord, I'm gonna pay the price. So I'm going down into 3 times, but I'm only coming up to wise. Well, I met her on Sunday, she was checking me out. Along about Monday, she would know whereabouts. Now here it is Tuesday, I ain't got no news. I got the gone but not forgotten blues. She's low on gone tonight. I'm low on some blues. Well, I met her on Sunday, she was checking me out. Along about Monday, you know whereabouts. Now here it is Tuesday, I ain't got no news. I got them gone but not forgotten blues. She's low on gone tonight. I'm low on some blues. She's low on gone tonight. I'm low on some blues. Thank you. Oh, we met in the springtime, where blossoms unfold. The pastures were green and the meadows were gold. Our love was in flower, the summer grew on. Her love, like the leaves, now is withered and gone. The roses have faded, there's frost at my door. The birds in the morning don't sing anymore. Oh, the grass in the valley is starting to die, and out in the darkness the whippoorwills cry. Alone and forsaken by fate and by man. Oh Lord, if you hear me, please hold to my hand. Oh, please understand. Gone to? Or where can she be? She might have forsaken some other like me. She promised to honor, to love and obey. Each vow was a plaything that she threw away. The darkness is falling, the sky has turned gray. Hound in the distance is starting to bay. Oh, I wonder what she's thinking of. Forsaken, forgotten, without any love. Alone and forsaken by fate and by man. Oh Lord, if you hear me, please hold to my hand. Oh, please understand. Alone and forsaken by fate and by man. Oh Lord, if you hear me, please hold to my hand. Oh, understand. Okay. There you have it. One of my favorite Hank Williams songs right there, Alone and Forsaken. Of course, before that was the Long Gone Lonesome Blues. And we'll just keep it coming. And once again, if there's something you absolutely want to hear, just shout it out, and I'll do it if I know it. But there's plenty more I'm going to try to get into here. So. Well, we suffered the loss of some greats here recently, and one of those people was somebody I did a show with one time, who I just thought was one of the most gracious people I'd ever met, you know, and really just a really nice guy. Nobody's perfect, obviously, but the story behind how he wrote this song is really special. Apparently, he was sitting in his truck on a hill, and it was on a cliff, actually, somewhere, and he was going to drive it off the cliff. He was going to end it all, and he didn't want to go on anymore, and he said this song came to him while he was sitting there and contemplating that, and of course it's Billy Joe Shaver, who we just lost. This is one of my favorites of his. He was one of the greats, and we'll do this in remembrance of him. I'm just an old chunk of coal. Oh, but I'm gonna be a diamond someday. I'm gonna grow and grow till I'm so blue, pure, perfect. I'm gonna put a smile on everybody's face. I'm gonna kneel and pray every day, lest I should become vain along the way. I'm just an old chunk of coal now, but I'm gonna be a diamond someday. Oh, I'm gonna choose the right words to talk. I'm gonna search and find a better way to walk. I'm gonna spit and polish my old rough-edged self till I get rid of every single flaw. I'm gonna be the world's best friend. I'm gonna go around shaking everybody's hand. I'm gonna be the cotton-picking rage of the age. I'm gonna be a diamond someday. I'm just an old chunk of coal now, but I'm gonna be a diamond someday. Oh, Billy Joe. Another great right there. Let's do one for another one we just lost here. Oh, now I knew a man, Bojangles, and he'd dance for you. Oh, and worn out shoes, silver hair, a ragged shirt, and baggy pants. The old soft shoe. He jumped so high, jumped so high, then he'd likely touch down. Mr. Bojangles, Mr. Bojangles, Mr. Bojangles dance. Met him in his down and out. He looked to me to be the eyes of age. Oh, he spoke right out. He talked of life, oh my Lord, he talked of life. Laughed and slapped his knee in step. He said his name, Bojangles, and he danced a lick all across the cell. Oh, now he grabbed his pants and he made a stance. Oh, he jumped up high and he clicked his heels. He let go of life, oh my Lord, he just let go of life. It shook his clothes all around. Mr. Bojangles, Mr. Bojangles, Mr. Bojangles dance. Oh, now we dance for those at the minstrel shows and county fairs, you see, all across the South. He spoke through tears of 15 years I was dogging him. They traveled about. Well, his dog up and died. Oh my Lord, he up and died. After 20 years, he still breathes. He said he danced now at every chance, honky-tonk, for drinks and tips. But most of the time I spend behind these county bars, 'cause it drinks a bit, you know. He shook his head like he just shook his head. Then I heard someone ask, please, Mr. Bojangles, oh, Mr. Bojangles, Mr. Bojangles dance. Oh, now Mr. Bojangles, Mr. Bojangles dance. Oh, dance. Oh, dance.
David Peterson, everybody. Wonderful job right there. And here on the 10,000 watt Voice of the Blue Ridge, AM 740 WPAQ, 106.7 FM, and WPAQ740.com. Check it out. And we've been streaming this on YouTube. You can watch it right there. And I tell you what, David has done a wonderful job. David, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
For all you do. And I know all the WPAQ family was listening in today, so we certainly do appreciate that. Want to remind folks, coming up December the 5th at 11 o'clock, Snow Creek Old Time Band, and then at 12, the Harrison Ridge, Tommy Nichols and all those folks will be coming your way at 12. That's going to do it for us, folks, and I'm Traveling Travis Fry saying keep it between the lines, and we'll see you next week. Bob, buddy, take it away.